Good morning, students. So we finished that journal part. So please let me know anybody is having any doubt. So I am waiting for the personal call or the message like that if there is any doubt with the passing the journal entry. And also I will give you one assignment like that. So please do it and submit it within 3 days time. So after the class, I will upload the this one video, and along with that, I will share the those portions with regard to means passing the journal entries like that. So please, so prepare the journal entry or prepare such an assignment or pass the assignment thing and send it to me within 3 days. So prepare that one and then send it within 3 days. Today, we are going to see the balance portion with regard to that, the ledger. So from the journal transaction, we need to pass it to the ledger. So ledger means books of accounts balances or books of accounts we are maintaining. അതായത് ഓരോ പർച്ചേസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എല്ലാ പർച്ചേസും കൂടെ പർച്ചേസിനകത്ത് വരും, എല്ലാ സെയിലും കൂടെ സെയിലിനകത്ത് വരും. എക്സ്പെൻസസ് അതായത് മെഷീനറി റെന്റ് പേ ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ റെന്റിന്റെ ട്രാൻസാക്ഷൻ എല്ലാം റെന്റിനകത്ത് വരും. സാലറി പേ ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ടു ബി ദയർ ഇൻ ദ സാലറി ലൈക്ക് ദാറ്റ്. അപ്പൊ അതാണ് വിച്ച് വൺ ബുക്സ് ഓഫ് അക്കൗണ്ട്സ്, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദ ലെഡ്ജർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. സോ വി വിൽ ഐ എം ഗോയിങ് ടു ഷെയർ ദാറ്റ് വൺ. So ledger. So we see the journal, how to pass the journal, and from the journal, how to transfer it into ledger accounts that we are going to see in the next couple of classes like that. So ledger is what? The word ledger is derived from the Dutch word legger, which means to lie. Means to lie. കള്ളത്തരം പറയുക എന്നുള്ളത്. ആ ലെഗർ എന്നുള്ള വേർഡിൽ നിന്നാണ്, ഡച്ച് വേർഡിൽ നിന്നാണ് ലെഡ്ജർ എന്ന വേർഡ് ഇതായത്. Ledger is a book in which various accounts are kept, and it is also known as the book of final entry. Book of primary entry, that is the journal. Then book of original entry, that is also the journal. Book of secondary or final entry, that is called the ledger. A ledger is a collection of all the accounts of an organization. It is the principal books of account. It is the principal book of account. A ledger is a book containing the records of all the transactions of an organization in a summarized and classified form. So that is the case. A ledger is a book that contains the records of all the transactions. എല്ലാ ട്രാൻസാക്ഷൻസിന്റെയും organization of all the transactions of an organization in a summarized and a classified form. Therefore, ledger is a set of accounts and it contains all the accounts of a business enterprise also. Ledger is the most important book of an organization. Therefore, it is called the king of all the books, because without the ledger, we cannot proceed to further. So ledger may be kept in any of the following two forms: bound ledger and loose leaf ledger. No need of that one, just for the sake. So ledger എന്താണ് എന്നുള്ളത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലായല്ലോ. Ledger is a book that contains the records of all the transactions of an organization in a summarized and classified form. Classified എന്ന് പറയുന്ന കാര്യം എന്നാ? That is, all the purchases, it relates to a purchase account. All the sales coming, it relates to a sales account. That is the case. So clear? Then types of ledgers: sales or sold ledger or debtors ledger, purchases or bought or creditors ledger, and general or nominal ledger. There are the three types. These are the three types of ledger. Sales ledger, what is that? Account of debtors. Or sold ledger or debtors ledger. So debtors are the person to whom the goods are sold on credit or cash. Cash is to be received on account. On account cash കിട്ടുന്നു, അതായത് on a later date. അന്ന് തന്നെ ക്യാഷ് കിട്ടുകയില്ല. അതാണ് സെയിൽസ് ലെഡ്ജറിന്റെ പ്രത്യേകത. സോ സെയിൽസ് ലെഡ്ജർ കണ്ടെയ്ൻസ് ദ അക്കൗണ്ട് ഓഫ് ഡെറ്റേഴ്സ്. അപ്പൊ പർച്ചേസ് ലെഡ്ജറോ? പർച്ചേസ് ലെഡ്ജർ കണ്ടെയ്ൻസ് ദ അക്കൗണ്ട്സ് ഓഫ് ക്രെഡിറ്റേഴ്സ്. സോ ക്രെഡിറ്റേഴ്സ് ആർ ദ പേഴ്സൺസ് ഫ്രം whom the goods are purchased or credit, our cash is to be paid on account. And general ledger, other than these, all the accounts are there that denotes the general ledger. So other than the accounts of debtors and creditors of the organization, all the other accounts, that is, comes under the general or nominal ledger. So three is there: debtor, sales or a sold or a debtors ledger, that is accounts relating to or accounts of debtors. Accounts of creditors, that is the purchases or a bought or a creditors ledger. And other than these two, there is a nominal or general ledger is there. Then, what are the differences between a journal and a ledger? Journal is used to record the transactions for the first time from a source document, while ledger is used to maintain all the accounts of an organization. So what are the differences between these? Journal is used to record the transaction for the first time from a source document. അതായത് നമ്മൾ ഇൻവോയ്സ് ബില്ല് റെസിപ്റ്റ് അതിൽ നിന്നൊക്കെ എടുത്ത് ട്രാൻസാക്ഷൻ എഴുതുന്ന ഏതിലോട്ടാണ്? ജേണലിലോട്ടാണ്. ആ ജേണലിൽ നിന്നാണ് അക്കൗണ്ട്സ് മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്ത് ലെഡ്ജർ ആക്കുന്നത്. It is called the book of original entry, while it is called the book of final entry. The process of recording the transactions in the journal is called journalizing, while the process of transferring the journal entries from the journal to the ledger is called posting. Journalizing എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? Recording the transactions in the journal. Posting എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാലോ transferring the journal entries from the journal to the ledger. ജേണലിൽ നിന്ന് ലെഡ്ജറിലോട്ട് ജേണൽ എൻട്രി ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ചെയ്യുന്നെങ്കിൽ അതിന് പറയുന്നതാണ് പോസ്റ്റിംഗ് എന്ന്. Journal is not balanced while all the accounts in the ledger are balanced. And transactions are recorded in the chronological order, means in the order of it is happening. That's chronological order, while transactions are recorded in analytical order. And journal has only one side containing the 5 columns: date, particulars, ledger folio, debit amount and credit amount that you see. Date column, particulars column, ledger folio column, debit amount column and credit amount column. While accounts having, what is that? Ledger accounts having 2 sides, debit side and credit side, having date, particulars, journal folio column and amount column on both the sides. So these are the differences. So hope you understood what are the differences between a journal and a ledger. Next is posting. The process of transferring the journal entries from the journal to the accounts in the ledger is called posting. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ കണ്ടു, ജേണൽ എൻട്രിയിൽ നിന്ന് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ജേണൽ എൻട്രിയെ ജേണലിൽ നിന്ന് ലെഡ്ജറിലോട്ട് ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ചെയ്യുന്നതിനാണ് പോസ്റ്റിംഗ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ദ ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ഓഫ് ഡെബിറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ക്രെഡിറ്റ് ഐറ്റംസ് ഫ്രം ദ ജേണൽ ടു ദെയർ റെസ്പെക്റ്റീവ് അക്കൗണ്ട്സ് ഇൻ ദ ledger. So the posting may be done at any time. However, it should be completed before the financial statements are to be prepared. So that is the case. And separate accounts should be opened in the ledger for the posting of transaction. The account which has been debited in the journal should be debited in the ledger. Journal debit ആയിട്ടുള്ള purchase account debtor, purchase account debit side to cash, cash in the credit side by purchases. അതാണ് to and by എന്നുള്ള word യൂസ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കണം. So account which has been debited in the journal should be debited in the ledger, and the accounts which has been credited in the journal should be credited in the ledger also. Use the word to with the accounts appearing on the debit side and by with the accounts appearing on the credit side of a ledger account. The words to and by have a no specific meaning, so the modern accountants are ignoring such a word also. അപ്പോൾ ഇത്രയും കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് ഓർക്കേണ്ടത്. Separate account should be prepared for each and every transaction. And after that, accounts which has been debited in the journal should be debited and also credited in the journal should be credited. Using the words to and by to specify for the debit side as well as the credit side. To denotes whatever appearing on the debit side and by denotes whatever appearing on the credit side. Then the format of an account is this. See, an account has 2 sides: left hand side, that is the left hand side, that is the debit side, and the right hand side, that is the credit side. Both sides having the same column, that is date, particulars, journal folio and amount column on both the sides. അപ്പോൾ അതാണ് ഓർക്കേണ്ടത്. So in continuation with that, so date column, particulars column, journal folio column and amount column on both the sides. So that is the case. Then so we see today what is that, what is a ledger or book. Ledger is the book of final entry, means all the accounts that is to be, it's the collection of the all the accounts of an organization. So a ledger is a book that contains the records of all the transactions of an organization in a summarized and a classified form. And then we see what are the types of ledger, like a sales or sold or debtors ledger, that all the accounts relating to the debtors. Then purchases or bought or creditors ledger, that is all the accounts of the creditors. Then general or nominal ledger, that is the ledger contains all the accounts other than the accounts of the debtors and the creditors. Then we see the differences between a ledger and a journal, and also what is posting and the format with regard to the, what is that? The format with regard to accounts or the ledger accounts. Okay. So this is the format: date, particulars, journal folio, rupees, that is the amount column, and date, particulars, journal folio, amount on the credit column. Then date column is used to record the date of the transaction. Particulars column is meant for recording the name of the account to be debited or credited, both the sides. Okay. And JF means journal folio, means the comparison with the ledger. Okay. അതായത് ജേണലുമായിട്ട് ഇത് ലെഡ്ജറാണ്. അപ്പൊ ജേണലിനകത്ത് ലെഡ്ജർ ഫോളിയോ കോളം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പൊ ഈ ലെഡ്ജറിനകത്ത് ഈ നമ്പർ അവിടെ വരും, അവിടുത്തെ നമ്പർ ഇവിടെ വരും. എന്തിനു വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്? ഫോർ ദ കമ്പാരിസൺ. Its aim is to record the page number of the journal and for comparison purposes. And amount column is meant for recording the amount of the transaction on both the sides. So that is the case made. Next, we are going to see the balancing of accounting. How the account is to be balanced. അപ്പോൾ പർച്ചേസസ് എല്ലാം കൂടെ ഇപ്പൊ ഡെബിറ്റ് സൈഡിലാണ്, ക്രെഡിറ്റ് സൈഡിൽ അത് ഓരോ ട്രാൻസാക്ഷൻ അനുസരിച്ച് പർച്ചേസസ് വരുന്നു. സെയിൽസ് എല്ലാം കൂടെ അതേ രീതിയിൽ റെന്റ് എക്സ്പെൻഡിച്ചേഴ്സ് അല്ലെ ഇൻകം ആയിട്ട് റിസീവ് ചെയ്യുന്ന റെന്റ് റിസീവ് അല്ലെ റെന്റ് പെയ്ഡ് അതെല്ലാം കൂടെ ഡെബിറ്റ് അല്ലെ ക്രെഡിറ്റ് വരുന്നു. ടേക്ക് ദ ഡിഫറൻസസ്. അതാണ് ബാലൻസിങ്. ആഫ്റ്റർ പോസ്റ്റിംഗ് വി നീഡ് ടു ബാലൻസ് ദ അക്കൗണ്ട്സ്. So difference between the total of debit side and the total of credit side of an account is called balance of an account. The process of ascertaining the balance of an account is known as balancing of account. അതായത് ascertaining the balance of account, calculating the balance, ആ പ്രോസസ്സിനാണ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് balancing of account. അപ്പൊ after posting the data, posting the transaction from the journal to the ledger, we need to balance it. So if the debit side of an account is more than the credit side, it is called the debit balance. ഡെബിറ്റ് സൈഡ് ഏതാണ്, ക്രെഡിറ്റ് സൈഡ് ഏതാണെന്ന് നമുക്ക് ആദ്യം ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യണം. ഡെബിറ്റ് സൈഡിൽ മോർ ദാൻ ദി ക്രെഡിറ്റ് സൈഡ്, the balance is, then that is the more than the credit side. If the debit side of an account is more than the credit side, then that is the debit balance, and vice versa. So following are the procedures for balancing. Find out the total of debit and credit side. Total of the debit side and total of the credit side should be find out. Second, ascertain the difference between the total of the debit side and the total of the credit side. What are the differences between the why the difference is coming, or how much is the difference? That should be calculated. And if the debit total is more than the credit total, put the difference on the credit side and by writing the words by balance carried out. അപ്പം ഡെബിറ്റ് സൈഡ് ഏതാണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കുക. അപ്പൊ അതും ക്രെഡിറ്റ് സൈഡും കൂടെ ചെക്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ക്രെഡിറ്റ് സൈഡ് കുറവാണ്, ഡെബിറ്റ് സൈഡ് കൂടുതലാണെങ്കിൽ ക്രെഡിറ്റ് സൈഡിൽ ബൈ ബാലൻസ് ബ്രോട്ട് ഡൗൺ എന്ന് എഴുതി ആ ബാലൻസ് എഴുതുക. ആൻഡ് വൈസ് വേഴ്സ. ക്രെഡിറ്റ് സൈഡ് കൂടുതലാണ്, ഡെബിറ്റ് സൈഡ് കുറവാണെങ്കിൽ ടു ബാലൻസ് ക്യാരി ഡൗൺ എന്ന് എഴുതുക. So close the account by writing the total amount on the debit side and the credit side and draw double lines below it. And put the debit balance on the debit side of the account and write to balance brought down in the particulars column, and put the credit balance on the credit side of the account and write by balance brought down in the particulars column. Only personal and real accounts are balanced, while nominal accounts are not balanced. If the purchases is there, just put the total of the debit side and put the total of the credit side, like the same as for the sales also. Only which account, person's account and real asset account is to be balanced. Nominal account as it is, you put it. Then debit total indicates expense and credit total indicates the income. The total of the nominal account is transferred to trading and profit and loss account. Personal accounts may show a debit balance or a credit balance. A debit balance in the personal account means the person is a debtor, and the credit balance in the personal account means the person is a creditor. And the real account will show only a debit balance as it indicates the value of the asset. So why nominal account? It is expenses or income. So no need of a totaling or balancing. While the personal account, it should be debited or credited. If the debit balance is there, then it is the which one? Debtor, and vice versa. If the credit balance is there, that is a creditor. So the real account will show only a debit balance as it indicates the value of the asset. Asset account, machinery account prepare ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അതിന് എപ്പോഴും debit balance ഉണ്ടാവുള്ളൂ. So this is with regard to balancing of the account. So we see today what is a ledger, what are the three types of ledger, what is the differences between a ledger and a journal, what is posting, what is balancing and format with regard to which one? The ledger. So please have a look at today's classes, and after the class I will share with you the problems with regard to the journal entries. You need to pass it, and you need to send it to me as an assignment after the 3 days. So please have a look at today's classes. Please clear off the doubts. Please see after please confirm after seeing the video after uploading. Thank you for the day.